The life of a real estate agent is an easy one. Said no one ever. Let's face it, you wear a lot of hats. Some days you're a chauffeur, while other days you're a family counselor. You never thought plumbing would be in your future, but here you are. There are the late-night phone calls, the awkward moments, the lovely lockboxes, the professional development courses, the new technology, home inspections, unexpected pets, cold feet buyers, staging, janitorial duties, clutter coordinator, sign installer, babysitter, and financial advisor, just to name a few.
The job of real estate agent is hard, but the licensing photo doesn't have to be. We are a coalition of professional photographers from the Mid-Atlantic region. Our hope and goal through this video is to educate and break down the subject of the licensing photos for commercial use.
Before we jump in, as a disclaimer, we would like to say that this is not legal advice, as we are not attorneys. However, licensing our images is our livelihood, and we have a lot to offer in terms of licensing knowledge.
To understand licensing, it's important to have a basic understanding of copyright law. Copyright is a type of intellectual property that protects original works of authorship as soon as the author fixes the work in a tangible form of expression.
In other words, as soon as an artist paints a picture, a musician produces a song, or a photographer snaps a photo, that original work is owned by the original author and is instantly protected by copyright law. This is where licensing comes into play.
The original author of the specified work can redistribute, reproduce, and display the work as they see fit. If the author would like to monetize his or her work for commercial use, they can do so through licensing.
Let's look at a few quick examples. Say you are a marketing director that represents a high-profiled worldwide architectural magazine. You came across a kitchen photo taken by a photographer from the original purpose of selling a home. You reach out to that photographer and ask to license that particular photo for commercial use. The photographer and publication agree to a price of $10,000 for a lifetime use of the image. $10,000 is the cost. Lifetime commercial use is the agreed term.
Next, let's say you're a local builder. You found out that the home you built was being professionally photographed by a local photographer for the sale of that home. You view the photos online and discovered that same kitchen photo we mentioned from the previous example. You reach out to the photographer and ask to license the photo for commercial purposes. You'd like to put the photo on your website and social media platforms to advertise the craftsmanship of your company. You and the photographer agree to a price of $1,000 for a lifetime use of that image. $1,000 is the cost. Lifetime commercial use is the agreed term.
Now, let's say you're a real estate agent. You just get your first listing representing the sellers. You hire a photographer to shoot photos of that listing to market the sale of the home. This is the same home built by the local builder, and the same home with the kitchen photo that was licensed to the builder and the worldwide publication we previously mentioned.
However, the length of time in which you need the photos is very short in comparison to the previous two examples. While the value of using professional photography to market your listings is immeasurable, the actual profitability of this one particular listing extends only to the total of that one particular sale. Therefore, you and the photographer agree to a price of $300 for 20 photos for a period of 1 year, or once a listing is sold or expires, whichever comes first.
In each example, the photographer was able to license the photo or photos because he or she was the original author of the work. The usage fee in each case is determined by several factors, such as who the company is, Fortune 500 company versus local builder versus real estate agent, length of the time it's to be used, 1 year, 5 year, or lifetime, the reach of the photos, 1 print ad, 10 billboards, unlimited, etc. The actual usage of the photos, single use online, unlimited use in print, etc. And finally, the cost to the photographer, expenses.
As previously stated, you can use the photos to market the property for sale. This covers you from coming soon to closing. Remember that you are the licensee, and therefore the photos are not to be shared with third parties to advertise their services. This includes the buyer's agent, homeowners, stagers, contractors, magazine publishers, etc. All of these folks are welcome to use the photos, provided they purchase their own license from the photographer.
The major misconception when paying for professional photography is that the licensee owns the rights to the photos. Unless otherwise stated in the licensing agreement, this is almost never the case. Refer back to the beginning of the video where we discussed that the actual copyright law states. Another popular example of this same topic is music licensing. When purchasing a song from an online music platform, you do not own the rights to use that song beyond personal use, which is why you only pay roughly $1 for it. However, if you want to use that song to promote your business and essentially profit from its use, you would have to license it from the artist, and the cost would be much higher.
Another popular misconception is that if photos are found online, whether it be on MLS, Google, social media, etc., they can be downloaded and reused. We see this often with photos of neighborhoods, amenities, cityscapes, the list goes on. In fact, not even the broker or the MLS own the photos. The MLS knows this, which is why they post a disclaimer when uploading photos to their site. This is where folks can and have gotten themselves into some legal trouble. It's important to know that the images online were taken by someone and that someone owns the rights. A good rule of thumb, if you're ever in question about what photos you can use, is ask your photographer.
If you're ever in doubt about whether or not you can use a photo, just remember these 3 things.
Never share your licensed photos with a third party.
Number 2, never take images from the internet. This includes community amenity photos.
Number 3, you are the licensee. Therefore, you cannot resell photos to third parties.
As photographers, we love our craft, but we love our clients even more. We know the topic of who owns the photos is one that comes up frequently, but hopefully this video provided you with some helpful insight into that question.
If you're still in doubt about whether or not you can use a photo, then just remember these 3 words. Ask your photographer.
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 Ask your photographer.